Well, history is on the line at the Supreme Court today as justices hear arguments over President Trump's order that would limit birthright citizenship. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
This morning, President Trump is set to become the first sitting president to attend arguments at the Supreme Court as the justices decide whether his order limiting birthright citizenship is constitutional. The order declares that only newborns with at least one parent who is either a U.S. citizen or has permanent legal status can become citizens.
Everything having to do with birthright citizenship, it was at the end of the Civil War. The reason was it had to do with the babies of slaves and the protection of the babies of slaves. It didn't have to do with the protection of multi-millionaires and billionaires wanting to have their children get an American citizenship.
At issue is an amendment ratified after the Civil War that includes a citizenship clause. Opponents of Trump's order say that clause applies to anyone born in the U.S., regardless of their parents' legal status. The Trump administration argues the clause doesn't go that far. Opponents note every court that's considered Trump's order so far has struck it down.
If you compare an executive order to the 14th Amendment, a Supreme Court decision that's 125 years old, and multiple congressional statutes, it shouldn't be a fair fight.
In 1898, the Supreme Court examined this issue in the case U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark. The justices ruled children born in the U.S. to non-citizens are Americans by law. We spoke to Wong Kim Ark's great-grandson.
I couldn't imagine we would be in this situation that when we were children, the understanding you're born here, you're American.
Trump's order, if held up by the court, could have far-reaching consequences.
Civil rights groups warn that if it's allowed to take effect, parents will face a bureaucratic nightmare across the board when they give birth and potentially put thousands of babies every year at risk of arrest and deportation from the only country they've ever known.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.